With the update is on page 3.
Unless we need one more senator to show up for quorum, although they're not voting. So if there's somebody that comes, it would be great quorum, but there are one less quorum today. Oh, she does. Okay. So we have. All right, so we have a quorum. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your May Staff Senate General Body meeting. For those who don't know me online or in person, I am Rashandra James, and I am the 2022-2023 Staff Senate President, and I'm excited that you decided to join us today. Right now, good afternoon. We are going to follow our agenda as outlined. I've already called the meeting to order. I think we've hit our quorum. Catherine, got any updates on the attendance? We're good. Now we're going to call for an approval of minutes. Who moved? Okay, Kelly Fink moved. Can we get a second? All in favor? These are for our April 2023 minutes. They have been approved and voted upon. Thank you so much. Right. So, just so you all know, for those who may be watching online and those who are here, we're not going to have our speaker today. So we'll just kind of go through the agenda as outlined. So at this point, it's time for my updates. And I'm going to pull those up for the month of May 2023. So again, welcome everybody. I know we have some new senators in the room who are eager to get started, and that makes me so excited and happy. And we'll talk about you all in just a moment. So for those who haven't been in our meetings before, we may have some new folks tuning in online. I like to kind of explain what we do at every Staff Senate meeting. So I'll always give a little update every month. One of the things I always use is one of my staples is since we last met. So that lets you know, what have I been doing? What has Staff Senate been doing? That's a question we get a lot. We don't take offense to that. That's a normal question. You should question the people who are supposed to represent you. That's perfectly fine. So I try to make sure that I'm giving updates. I will say the month of April has been elections, and then it has been meetings. So Jessica and Kelly probably can attest to some of the things we've been doing behind the scenes. So we do have an Imagine Carolina date set. If you haven't heard, you're hearing it here now. Friday, May 19th from 1 to 2 o'clock p.m. via Microsoft Teams. There should be some emails going out around about that soon. So, but I'm just giving it to you all first. This will be an update on what we talked about in February when the president was here. There's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes to address all of the concerns that were submitted during that time. And so we've sent all the concerns. Kim Pruitt has been an instrumental person. We've organized it and sent it to each unit head for commentary or updates or just an informative piece. So don't forget to tune in. That's a way to kind of say this is what we're doing. It's our deliverable is to provide an update on May 19th. I will say initially we were trying to get it done by the end of April, but y'all with times and schedules and graduations, we couldn't get everybody's schedule aligned, but we did find a date and hopefully you all will be able to tune in. So that'll be through Microsoft Teams. There's also a committee to refresh EPMS. That's our employee performance management system. That is what the university uses to determine whether staff have met their goals, whether they're exceeded their goals, whether they did not meet their goals. It's also tied to a lot of times our merit raises and other places wherever unit heads want to use them. So we've known for a long time the document has been a little, it could use some work. So a committee has been put together and it's headed by Melissa. I want to say Melissa Arnold. Is that HR? Okay, thank you, Jessica. Melissa Arnold is heading that committee, and it's folks from IT, it's people from Staff Senate, myself, professional development, and some other HR and employee relations folks. So we're doing a deep dive, kind of going in and seeing what's happening with EPMS, what needs to be improved, even down to user friendliness, and also how we're able to actually measure success. So that is a new committee. We'll meet like every other Wednesday, starting, I think it started 2 weeks ago. So it's one of the things that even as I roll off with the permission of President Lusk, I will want to see through until the completion because we've already started. But if any of you have any questions or concerns about that, I'm happy to fill you in. And as things go, I'll keep you apprised over the next year or so. Ombudsperson exploration meeting is set. So again, that was one of our major initiatives. Megan, Bridget, Angela, a couple other folks, please don't be upset if I don't mention your name. I just remember those folks who were really instrumental in making sure that we were considered for having a staff ombudsperson. President Amaritas promised it, Imagine Carolina, and he's making good on that. So there's an exploration meeting between the ombudsperson for faculty, students, legal, staff senate, Stacey Fritz, President Amaritas, VP Agardi, that's coming up next week. So I will keep you all updated on that as well. So we're getting really close. I can tell you a major concern is just ensuring that legally we know what we can or cannot disclose and that we've explored all those options. So thank you to the hard work of the senators who helped to push this important initiative forward. Okay, benefits fair. Senator Vanessa Berry, she's not here, but she'll be our staff treasurer. She has agreed to represent staff senate on the benefits sort of exploration committee. The university is looking into maybe some changes or updates to our current benefits for staff. So we're plugged in there. Vanessa Berry will be our representative. We have staff senate awards. And so I guess I can talk about that now. Melissa, did you want to talk about that or you wanted me to go? Because Chris isn't here, he asked me to do it. So I'm happy to do it now and then we can keep going. Okay, so we'll pause and talk about Staff Senate Awards. So we have inaugural Staff Senate Awards. Chris Burkett is our chair of that, and we have some amazing senators who volunteered their time to help put this together. So I can tell you it's going to be the actual ceremony date is June 8th, 2023 from 5:30 to 7:00 p.m. Capstone Conference Center. You are all invited. Save the dates will be sent soon. We are hoping to have, we are going to have refreshments, photos. Vice President Agardi has agreed to be there along with some other university leadership. So we have so far received 38 nominations for the Staff Senate Award. Nominations closed on April 28th. Jessica, is that right? April 28th. And we received 38. So that's with, what, 2 weeks, no reminders. So you can imagine this program is going to grow. And so we decided to select a award committee. Senator Kupfer, Melissa Kupfer, is chairing that committee. And part of that committee is Megan, Senator Colacione, Senator Epps, Senator Darby, Senator Johnson, Senator Cross, Senator Peterson, Senator Hilson, and Senator Berry. Those are our awards committee representatives. And so the committee has put together a robust rubric that is going to be measured in different areas that we outline online. And they were doing a double blind review. So the committee doesn't know who they're reviewing. The only person who knows the names, Jessica, has redacted all of that. So it is a true review just based on the information presented as much as possible. Nothing is 100%, but we're trying our best to have a very equitable process, and it is actually going to be measurable, and we'll be able to explain note by note, line by line, exactly how we came to those conclusions of the winners. We're going to have 3 winners. We're giving away cash awards, first, second, and third place. One is going to be $1,000 as first place. Second and third place will each get $500. All people who are, all staff who were recommended will be invited with a save the date. And it will be a drop-in formatted program. Am I forgetting anything, Melissa? Thank you. And we hope to have those announced in the coming weeks. That is a date. I don't have the date. I'm sorry, but we'll have it ready for you soon. So look out for Staff Senate Awards. This is going to be what I hope is one of our signature programs. It's inaugural. It's not going to be perfect, but we are wanting to make sure that we're transparent with the process. I came to the initial meeting. I won't be a part of any of the review or anything like that. We want to ensure that it's fair. And it does include our Greenville and our Columbia senators as well as Columbia. So that's Staff Senate Awards ceremony and nominations. Finally, we have orientation. So orientation is going to be Thursday, June 22nd, 2023, in the Darla Moore School of Business. Shout out to Senator Hart and Senator Doran, who were amazing hosts. I think they're going to be awesome. We are really ramping up our efforts. Tyson Lusk, thank you for having us change the location. We're going to be in a couple different rooms. We're going to be moving around the building, so be prepared for an exciting time. We're asking that you wear garnet and black for a photo, business casual for a photo at the top of the day. Breakfast and lunch will be provided. You can park in the 1801 Grill parking lot. More to come on that. Agenda is currently being set. Am I forgetting anything about the orientation? 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So I love when everything's on time. So timeline. So staff senator timeline. Staff senator elections. We are here. It's May 9th. Our elected senators have been announced. Fingers crossed that tomorrow on the 10th, you get a university email blast. May not be tomorrow, huh? Probably gonna be by the end of the week. Okay, so hopefully by next week, there'll be a university-wide email that links to the website to say these are the senators. University executive leadership have been notified. And as I said earlier, the new staff senator orientation will be on June 22nd. Can y'all help me give a round of applause to our membership committee for carrying that effort? Yay. It's headed by Senator Kelly Fink. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, Kelly. And Jessica, who is our admin, amazing admin, who does a lot of work. Do not know how we did it without Jessica before. Thank you, Jessica. For those who don't know, Jessica Mackey is our staff senate admin assistant. Okay, so friendly reminder, co-chairs, can you please make sure, I think Catherine and Jessica sent an email out last week, but just a reminder, we want to get all of your end of the year reports by June the 5th. You can email those to Catherine Hilson and Jessica Mackey. We want to be prepared to present some brief highlights. We don't have time to present all the amazing things you've done, but think about one or two things that you want to highlight and have discussed at our June meeting. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And then finally, my final meeting as staff senate president and for this year will be with VP Rex Tolliver. He's our VP of Student Affairs. He'll join us on Tuesday, June 13th. Hope to see everybody there. And again, say the date for our inaugural Staff Senate Awards ceremony for Thursday, June 22nd. So, as has been tradition, does anybody know what my next slide is going to say? Just see if y'all pay attention to me or not. Word of the month, thank you. Our word of the month. The word of the month is legacy. And so legacy is just about leaving an impact, a long-lasting impact on particular events, actions that took place in the past or in your life. So I know it's tempting. I get it. I'm tired too to be like, you know what? It's May. I'm not coming in June. Please come to the June meeting. We have some surprises for you. You're not gonna want to miss it. Come to the June meeting. Let us love on you and thank you for all that you've done over the past couple years. It's been a lot, but you all have certainly contributed to the legacy of Staff Senate. Staff Senate couldn't happen without senators. So thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing. I actually want to also acknowledge, you're probably like, what? Lena, let's give Lena a round of applause. Lena Holt. Lena was instrumental as our, I say she's the president, or what are our presidents, but one of the Staff Senate organizers, coordinators, all that you all see, all those bylaws and things that we're talking about and how we want to update or change. There was a foundation laid by Lena and Angela, so we want to thank her so much. Thanks so much, Lena. And a lot of emails I sent, emails that Lena sent. So thank you. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I presented today? Oh, yes, Michelle.
Can you come back one more? Okay.
Oh, until 7.
That's this Thursday, June 22nd.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. You see, I told you.
And I'm not confused, but I thought maybe.
No. Let's highlight, oh, I thought I had it on here. Yes, it's Thursday, June 8th. Yes, exactly, y'all. Thursday, June 8th. Thank you, Michelle and others. From 5:30 to 7 o'clock, not 8 o'clock. 5:30 to 7 o'clock, Capstone Conference Center is our Staff Senate inaugural awards. And Thursday, June 22nd is our orientation. And I will correct that. Thank you. Okay. I knew it was something I was gonna get mixed up when I was typing this. Anything else? Kelly, Senator Payne.
Will the department head, those staff members that were nominated be notified?
Yes, absolutely. We will, thank you. We'll also nominate department heads. I think we asked for that, and I hope we did in the application, so we will send them an email as well. Yes, Senator Hall.
I think myself and many supervisors find the current EPMS process very difficult and tedious, so I'm thrilled to hear that there's a committee looking at that. Do you think we can see any results from that committee by May next year?
I think so. We have some folks that feel very strong about it, like yourself. And actually, if you do, thank you for so that I can make sure I'm representing everybody. If it's okay with President Lusk, I mean, we sit on a blast. Not right now because we're just getting started, but to get feedback from folks on what are some of the things that you would like to see improved. That's the whole thing. The PDF is a little, I've many a day had to start over my PDF, so I totally get that. We do have IT on the call.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm glad to send you more thoughts.
Please.
But the thing I can think of right now that's really difficult is, yes, there's no history of previous records. If there's a system where supervisors can see previous EPMS, because a lot of that is copy paste with changes for the year.
I agree with that.
And that the PDF makes it very difficult to keep a history and maintain that process.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to be able, as you're in
Historical.
historical.
Yeah.
And I can see an argument against that too, but I agree with you. But I can kind of see why they did it, but you have a good point. There should be an access point for someone to go back.
Well, it's an important tool for employees to have their performance on the record when it's hard for supervisors to do it. A lot of staff that are supervised by faculty often don't get EPMS review because the process is so difficult. So improving the process for supervisors, I think, has huge benefit to staff.
I agree, 100%, 100%. Yeah, give me your suggestions. I go on Wednesday, so I'm happy to show up with all my list. And then I'll continue to update you all as we make progress. Any other things besides my date change? I'll correct that before I email it to the masses. I do apologize. I was working on this at 11 p.m. Anything else? Hi. Senator Sims.
The EPMS thing, I think one of the biggest hindrances across campuses is that, you mentioned that in some departments, they use it to compensate people like extra work and whatever, and in some departments they don't. And the same thing happens, people take on extra work or whatever, and the EPMS is not a tool that is used to reward them. And I think that if we can find some way to make that apply evenly across the board to everyone, have some sort of standard that if a person does about then they're considered automatic.
I agree.
That ought to happen.
Like, what is it? What are the implications per employee, not just per college unit or school?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Hall.
Are y'all revamping?
They're looking at revamping it. Yes, ma'am.
Because, like I said, when I came on, just like the gentleman said, when I came on, I became a supervisor, and they gave me paper like, evaluate this person. Only been here 3 months.
Right.
I don't know this person's name. So how am I supposed to evaluate somebody that I don't know the work history?
Yeah, lots of concerns. I agree with all those things. Some people have never, before recently, had never even seen one. So, Tyson? Thank you all. I appreciate you. All right, so now we're going to, oh, if there are any, well, Senator Fink, during your part, you can acknowledge, we have some newly elected senators here too. So now we're going to follow the agenda as outlined. We're going to do our committee reports, and we'll start with Senator Fink. Thank you. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Just ready here, sorry.
Oh, it's on there.
Okay, so membership committee. So first of all, I just want to thank everyone from the membership committee for not only the senator elections, but also the officer elections. So on the membership committee, and then also others, there were so many different people involved in communications, the office staff, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a much bigger production than what people realize behind the scenes for all the logistics. So again, I want to thank Jessica and Rashundra because it was like at times a three-person meeting that never stopped in order to be able to try to do some of these different tasks. So I just want to thank everyone. And so before we get into the senator elections, I want to just recap to make sure for all of our listeners that are online, and then also for those of you that are here, new that are here. First, for our newly elected officers, and if you will please stand when your name is read, if you are able to do so, so that especially for the new people can be able to see who you are, et cetera. So Tyson Lusk is our president. Megan Colacioni, our vice president. Chris Burkett, I know he is not here with us, but he is online, so thank you, Chris. Yes. Vanessa Berry is also online right now, so thank you, Vanessa, for serving as the treasurer. Catherine Hilson, our secretary, and then, of course, our past president, Rashundra James. So these are your fearless leaders that will be leading us throughout this next year, and so thank you all for your involvement with all of that. Now, a little bit about some of the elections themselves, et cetera, just so in case you're not aware of this. One is that there were 161 nominations. There were 80 candidates. We had 28 ballots. Yeah. There were 4,506 eligible voters. So you think about it, that's a lot of staff members on this campus. We don't always necessarily realize how many staff members work on this campus. We had 967 votes electronically casted. 59 votes were casted via hard copy ballots, and 21% total of our UofSC staff members casted a ballot. So just wanted to provide some information in regards to those statistics. So, and then also just so you can see some pictures here, we did have one department, University Housing, that did do paper ballots, and so you can see some pictures up here of some of the balloting that happened for it. We even, as you can see there, we had some staff members who worked in University Housing and our custodial services that could not get to the ballot location. So we took it to them. We wanted to make sure that they got a chance to be able to vote. So we took the service car down and I plopped all of the materials, as you can see in the lower picture, on top of the back of the car. They pulled out their ballots. They pulled out the information about all, we had information written about all of the candidates for the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Support. And they actually got to cast their ballots. And so it was just something, it was an extra effort that we wanted to make sure that anyone who wanted to vote got a chance to vote. And so we hope to be able to continue that in the future to even get those numbers even higher and even having more individuals actually casting their ballots. And so now, Madam President, I would like to present to you and the executive officers the newly elected senators for the Staff Senate for the 23-24 academic year. So here we go. So, I will say this. Also, as I read the names, if you will please stand if you're able to do so while we read the name of the college and or the division and then your names, and then you can sit back down afterwards. So the first one is for the Division of Academic Affairs and Provost Reporting Offices. So Andrea Avant, Julia Bellion, and Ashley Dancer. Yay. Then for the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Support, Kara Grant, Elisa Liggett, and Cassandra Pope. Okay. For the Office of Communications, External Affairs, and OIPEE, Tom Harmon, Michaela Taylor. For the Division of Development, Amanda Minette. Okay. And then for the Division of Information Technology, Barry Duvall, Brett Lee, and Bridget Leslie. For the Division of Administration and Finance, Michael Adams, Marissa Buck, Jason Cohn, Rebecca Denisi, Matthew Griffin, and Kim Rose. For the Division of Athletics, Kelsey Chambers, Tyson Dow, Tony Carl, Simone Keller, and Michelle Knight. For the Office of President and Extension Offices, Christina DiLorenzo and Margaret or Markey Gaddis. For the Palmetto College, Terrence Gilmore. And then for the School of Medicine, Whitney Esau. For University Libraries, William Boland. For Honors College, Cammie Reed. For the School of Law, Chelsea Allen Malloy. For the School of Music, Margie Ziegler. For the College of Social Work, Janae Epps. For the Graduate School, Wright Culpepper. For the Arnold School of Public Health, Katie Annan. College of Nursing, Jessica McCormick. And for the College of Pharmacy, Catherine Kennard. The College of Information and Communications are follow. College of Hospitality, Retail, and Sports Management, Georgia Patrizis. And then for the College of Engineering, Travis Weatherford. College of Arts and Sciences, Lori Carey. And the College of Education, Julia Hodge. Still going. Well, first of all, let me go back. Let's again give a round of applause for all of our newly elected senators. And then additionally, we do have some senators that are continuing on and their term is not ending until June of 2024. So I'd like for these individuals, if they would, if they are here, to please stand if they're able to do so, to be recognized as continuing seated senators. For the Division of Academic Affairs and Provost Reporting Offices, Jessica Freed. For the Division of Student Affairs and Academic Support, Jennifer Cross. For the Dollar Moore School of Business, Georgia Doran. For the Division of Development, Lauren Murphy. And for the Division of Research, Beth Herron. Okay, so we have a great new seat and slate of all new senators, so we are very excited to have everyone on board. Again, I just wanted to give a big, huge thank you to everyone who was involved. I know that I didn't include everyone's name on here that was involved in all this process, but just really, really appreciate everyone's efforts for all of this to happen. So thank you. And that is my report.
Thank you, Senator Fink. As you all see, all of those names had to be vetted, all of those names had to be emailed, all of those things have to be uploaded into the website, so it was not an easy task, so we really appreciate your hard work. Now we have a communications committee. Senator Sellers.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. So once again, I'm Senator Dwan Sellers, and I'm the co-chair for the Communications Committee along with Senator Craig Brandhorst, who could not be here today. So unfortunately, we were not able to meet as a committee last month, but we do have a meeting on the schedule for next week. So any updates that will come from that meeting, I will share in the, or myself or Craig will share in the June meeting there. I'll say our major update for this meeting is once again tied to the website, which in turn is a major shout out to Communications and Marketing Digital Specialist Trey Gaines, who once we identified Trey, it was really a game changer, and especially the timing of him coming on board with the membership drive. It just, we could not have done it without him, but more importantly, we could not also have done it without Jessica McKee. Jessica really stepped up as far as the website is concerned. In fact, like she single-handedly updated the website with the directory of all the new senators' names and information on there. So that the website has been updated where it reflects like the elections are closed, the timeline has been accurate the entire time, the directory is updated. Those photos, as Jessica reminded me, will be added once the orientation takes place in June. So again, if during the next meeting, well, when we actually meet as a committee, we'll revisit any of the outstanding tasks or to-dos for the communications committee, and again, update you all in June. So that's our report.
She's coming on now. Staff policy and well-being.
Thank you. All right, so our committee has always been a little interesting because we always meet 2 days after our general body meetings. So we're kind of a little backwards, but it all kind of works with what we work towards. So I wanted to give a few updates because we couldn't update last meeting, so just kind of fills in over the last few months. So Senator Herron and Senator Freed met with Human Resources Benefits team in March, towards the end of March, or I'm sorry, mid-March, to discuss the leave pool policy and procedures. This was something that we heard as concern for staff regarding accessibility, the transparency of the leave process. And so this was kind of the first of what we know will probably be many conversations for the Staff Policy and Wellbeing Committee. So if you're interested and you're staying with us in the coming year, please know that that's a big opportunity area in partnership with Human Resources that we want to dive into. Senator Cross was able to summarize the classification and compensation study updates from the last general body meeting that we had, where VP Agardi was sharing what was supposed to be happening with the phase 3, the compression phase. And so I want to just reshare that information with you all, where the study is going, or the phase 3 compression phase of the classification and compensation study begins with units across campus. This is a 6-week process. The point of this phase is to get employees matched with market value and compensated at their midpoint salary range. It is the unit's discretion about whose salary to increase, and the specific unit must have the funds to do so. This phase will also help ensure those who were hired more recently are not making the equivalent to longer-term tenured staff. Some of these evaluations for units will be completed prior to the end of this fiscal year. So some of you all might have units that are actually going through this process right now. Please contact your leadership that you are connected to with your senator role, and or your HR representative if they can share any insight into what the plan of your respective area is. And then you can also review the April general minutes. If you hadn't, I dove into those. If you haven't dove into it, those were very thorough minutes with what the president had said and what VP Agardi kind of responded to when the president was here. So please look into that. And then the last thing, myself and Senator Epps, we reached out to Human Resources as well regarding the Headspace app, because it was known to that students right now have the campus community health services had bought the app so that the student community could utilize access to the app for mental health wellness, resources, meditation. But we really wanted to advocate for staff as well as faculty to get this access. So we just sent an email, we're starting that communication, but please know if you didn't know, that is something that we're starting to dive into as well. happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything. Yes.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I will ask to make a comment. I hope that everybody in this room is a newly senator or returning senator, to speak out about the implementation phase 3, because I am very vocal on that, and I think you need to speak out and make the change.
Yep.
To your department. So,
Senator Morgan, for those online, just shared that it's really important to advocate for the needs of your staff and your unit and what you're doing as a senator, especially with the phase 3 compression phase. So please connect to your leadership, especially if you have any questions. Really important to understand and have that transparency about what's happening. Yes, Senator King.
Yes, and may I add to that is, may we find out at the next meeting what the timeline is for the rest of the departments? They said July 1, they hope to have the certain number of departments covered, but there was not an end timeline for all departments, I don't believe. It wasn't in the notes, but I don't think that it was stated by VP Agardi, so that would be helpful to know when are all departments expected to hopefully be completed for that.
Like with their plans,
Department phases it.
department phases. Yep.
From department phase 3.
So Senator Fink was just asking, Mr. Burke, those online, when, if we can ask leadership, when all the department phase timelines should be noted, available, known of how it's working.
Because they only talked about some of them would be done by July 1, but not, they didn't give a date for the rest of them.
Yep.
Got it. Will do.
That is all for us. Thanks.
Thank you.
This is from Georgia Dorn, who couldn't be here today. Professional Development Committee, they have secured Jeff Black to be the fall 2023 Professional Development Speaker. There'll be an emergency training session. Will be scheduled for either July or August meeting. Special thank you to Steve Burney for coordinating. They plan to survey all new members and senators after the June training regarding their professional development needs. And then 4 committee members are rolling off the PD committee: Melissa Comfort, Leroy Sims, Steve Burney, and Beverly Johnson. And Georgia says, I personally thank and admire these 4 founding senators. The PD committee will miss each of you, your expertise, your collaborative spirits, and sense of humor.
Senator Dorn. Thank you, Senator Hart, for reporting for her. Anything from community projects? Yeah, please. Senator Hull.
Thank you to the 12 senators who volunteered. We have 12 staff senate volunteers organizing collection points in 20 dormitory buildings as part of the Give It Up for Good project. Give It Up for Good is the project where students donate things that they can't take with them when they're moving out of dorms. I did not appreciate the massive scope of this project. I mean, I was warned, but until I saw a band room about the size of this auditorium, so full of donations, there was barely room to walk in it. I did not appreciate the magnitude of the project or how much help housing really needs to help out with this project. So the good thing about this project is it is a volunteer effort you can do on your own time, schedule time that works on your calendar, and go by, organize your adopted collection point, and notify our contact in housing if it needs pickup. The bad thing about this volunteer effort is it does require a good bit of initiative. There's not a lot of communication or direction. You adopt a donation point and then just take initiative, take charge, go make sure it's organized. There will also likely be more opportunities like we had on Monday, where housing will send out a communication to the group of volunteers and say, hey, we really could use help today at this specific time. At least 2 staff senators and possibly more, but 2 that I know of were able to show up on Monday and help kind of impromptu organizing the things that they are collected. It really is a massive project that does a lot of good. And also I found out more recently, not only do the donations go to local charities, but a lot of those donations go to Gamecock Pantry, Gamecock Closet, And so it directly supports staff and students on this campus who may have a need for those items. And then one last thing, earlier this year, the library had their most successful school supplies collection drive yet. Over 40 students, over 40 staff and faculty donated school supplies of all kinds in an effort that is really, those supplies will go to students who need them, can make good use of them. And a big thanks to Senator Anthony Morgan and University Libraries for championing that.
I want to make it very clear, student success was involved, and this was the drive for the Gamecock school supply drive. So university libraries, we participate in taking in some of the physical things that came to circulation desk. So we did participate, but faculty also donated from the med school all across the campus. So we thank you for being involved. I mean, staff and faculty working together. So this was a major project, and we hope that it will continue next year.
From the Policy and Wellbeing Committee. I just want to thank everybody. I work in health facilities. I want to thank everybody who was involved, who volunteered, was able to volunteer. Thank you, because just like you said, give it up for good is the language of So I want to thank you, and please come help us next year.
Okay, thank you. Bylaws Committee, Senator Rose Lincoln, who we think?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I would like to give a big shout out and round of applause for the membership committee, as well as Angela and Lena for your hard work. This all began that you all put in the work with the bylaws committee, and so we knew there were going to be some changes. So we depended on you all to let us know if you had recommendations on what we could do better to revise it so that it could be clear, because we want to be transparent and we want to provide clarity. We have one recommendation. This was from the membership committee when the bylaws committee met. They wanted to know, or wanted to make sure that the bylaw states what happens when there's a tie with the election. Like if the employee right now it states employee with the longer time of service is the designated winner. And so what we're trying to do is seek to review that section of bylaws set forth, revisions to insert the requirement to conduct the runoffs as stated as it is with the officer elections. It was also stated that we've not followed the bylaws for the past 2 years, and they would like the committee to explore recommendations for the future. So we had to reach back to the executive committee because those, again, the bylaws that was established was prior to, we found out just by asking that there was no bylaw change. Current bylaws defaults to member with the highest years of service. Original elections were completed before they were adopted. So we couldn't adopt those bylaws until after the body was formed. And so that was it. So if any of you have any, we're working on it. So it's not that we just met, we're working on it, but it's also been recommended to consider for the next voting year's election cycle, because we want it to be fair that we're not just making changes based on what happened in this period, but it is going to be considered for the next voting election time. And then the bylaws committee, we're so serious with stuff, so because it's serious, this is a serious matter. So we have scheduled a next, not that y'all want to know that, but a next in-person fun afternoon of fun that we'll be having later on this month. And so if any of you would like to join us, you're welcome to do so. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, it's called the Bylaws Bash.
I think we're gonna send that out later, May 24th. I don't know, y'all know I'm bad with it. Is it May 24th?
Yes.
I remember certain dates and certain dates I don't, but that I remember. Hopefully y'all can join us at Backstreet Grill. We'll send something out. A little fun time. We did our staff awards, unless there's something I left out. Just another plug, June 8th. June 8th, 5:30 to 7 o'clock p.m., Capstone Conference Center. More to come. Lauren, do you want to give a little update on Give for Garden? We had a little sprinkle in there. Get a
talk about a little sprinkle we made and give the garden. We trying. We did a great job, I think, for the first time.
You too.
Oh, and somebody's showing off the cute socks. And socks are on the way. Thank you. Oh, yes, I want to thank everyone who helped us be a part of Gift for Garnet. Thank you. So the day of, on actual giving day, we raised $592 for Staff Senate. And our fund is a little over $1,000.
All right,
Yeah. Bridget has the actual number, but I know there's a little bit more in there. Okay, and our $10,000 check is on the way. That as well. So, feel free, encourage other donors. We can give at any time. No amount is too small. All adds up. That's right. Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much. So something that we can probably look into bylaws committee for next year is maybe thinking about making our fundraiser and scholarship committee, they're ad hoc right now, and our staff senate awards committee, permanent committee. So that's something to explore with President Lusk for next year. But both committees have done really well. We did them as ad hocs, as you know, according to the bylaws, president can create ad hoc committees. So that is one of a couple that I created this year, but those two, I think may be worth exploring for a permanent place in staff senate. Thank you to you for your leadership on that, Lauren. All right, so we now have an order of business. Does anybody have anything? Senator Lusk, I think, would you like to say a few words since we've announced the new slate, and want to say anything to get people excited about your leadership? Woo! I'm the most excited.
Yeah. I said earlier that my goal, I told Jessica this, was just to continue doing what Chandra's doing. So that is, but I am really, really excited. I'm glad that so many of you are returning, and then any of those that are here in attendance or listening online, really excited to welcome all these new senators. I think we've got a great foundation, but there's a lot of also potential and opportunities for us. So I know that our new executive committee is excited to get to work. There's a lot of ideas, and I want to encourage any of you senators who are, just taking a 2-year hiatus, that please stay involved, stay engaged. When you have ideas, shoot them over. We're going to, in some capacity, certainly lean on you, maybe for your expertise with our new senators. There's a lot of new faces, which is really exciting, but we want to make them as well prepared and make their transition as good as possible. So please be advised that we still have your email contact information. There will be opportunities for you to remain engaged, and we look forward to those, but also look forward to welcoming a new body. But really just want to say thank you to everyone for their continued involvement, and we are very, very much excited for the next year, and look forward to seeing you at orientation with additional details and programming and plans for the upcoming year. So thank you all again.
Does anybody else have anything for the good of the order today? We'll make this meeting a little short and sweet. Oh, Senator Payne.
Can you advance the slides?
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I had no idea.
So you may be breathing a sigh of relief because so many students have left campus and they moved out, as Senator Fahall announced, but it is time to get ready to move them all back in. And yes, that is part of my role with university housing and the university in general, is to have move-in ambassadors. Yes, I am soliciting for ambassadors, and nothing says welcome home to Carolina like the smiling faces of a senator move-in ambassador. So here is your opportunity. Here are the dates for move-in: the 16th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st of August. Those are the shift times. They are 3-hour shifts. You do have to work like at
at least one shift full-time, because that's what we're looking for in order to be able to do it. I will send out an email message through the Senate office in order to provide you that Movement Ambassadors website that you can go to be able to register to win, not to win, but to, yeah, to win. To win, yes, to win, no, to assist us. So we hope that you will do it. A lot of you did it last year. We hope to build upon that and have more of you, maybe even some of you that are not going to be senators. Next year, you can join in and help with this and still be involved. But we know that we need to shoot to have 1,200 volunteers in order to move these students in here. Because those who are not familiar, we do have 1,800 new students that will be moving into Campus Village alone. Alone. So that's 1,800 more students than what we had last year. So it's a lot of students who will be coming back to campus or coming to campus for the first time. And this is a university project. This is not a university housing project. We need to show our students and their families how much we appreciate them being on our campus, because as we all know, if they weren't coming, we wouldn't be here. And so we need your assistance to help us with this project. So I am the person that coordinates this ambassador program. So if you have any questions afterwards, if you want to work with your teams in your offices, you are welcome to do that. You can even wear your office polos that promote your department so the students know who it is, or wear your staff senator shirts.
That's right.
Wear your staff senator shirts so they can ask you about what is the staff senate, so they can understand a little bit more about that. But we want to get people working in groups, work as a team in here, whatever it may be. But contact me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Is there a way to get additional shirts for you, or?
We'll try.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great.
I'm sure Tyson.
Both got it.
So last year we had an in-kind donation from Barefoot that printed our staff senate t-shirts. So for those, yeah, definitely, thank you. And that helped last year. It was a lot of fun. I think that Brian was there, Kelly, a couple of us. I'm an early morning person, so I did mine at 7:30 before it got too hot. But it's fun time meeting a lot of the freshmen and their parents and getting to know them. It's really enjoyable. So if you're on the fence, definitely consider. We have a budget proposal. Senator Leslie, I don't have it displayed. Do you want me to pull it up? Okay.
Or we can email it.
Okay, we'll email it out. Do you want to say anything about it so they know kind of what we're, because we have some new people in the room. So this is Senator Bridget Leslie. She's been with Staff Senate as treasurer since its inception. And she's going to talk about the 23-24 budget proposal.
Yes, it's a proposed budget, and again, the budget is a guideline. We're still in infancy stage, so we're trying to ensure that we're allocating appropriately per the categories within our budget. Again, our budget is $35,000, and we do have some of those donations that we're getting through development that will support and augment our budget. But the proposed budget will include basically our staffing costs, as well as administrative costs that we have. Whatever is left, we have a contingency line, but we also kind of allocated some stuff towards meeting rooms if we need that, as well as any other ad hoc needs that we may have throughout the year. So about this time, we normally provide that proposed budget for you to review, and then we normally subsequently review it and approve it. So that would be the next step. So for the sake of time, we will email that to you for you to look at. And again, it's a guide. It can change throughout the year. And I will be working with Vanessa to ensure for the next year that we allocate accordingly through the ANA plan. Any questions? Yes.
Is the award for the staff senate award monies, is that within our budget too, or have we like made it permanent?
I did put it as a line item there. You'll see it in the income status just so that we would balance, but within ANA plan, that's not going to be there officially. It's through the development office that those funds will be. Depending on timing, because of what we're doing related to the awards, if that funding is not there for us to partake of, we may utilize what we have in the budget in our contingency and then request the monies from development to reimburse that expense.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so when we give money to foundations, give for Garnet, Founders Credit Union, payroll deduction, all that goes to foundation accounts that we can use for activities like our staff awards and other things that we want to kind of have a little more freedom to do that can't really be utilized with our funds from the university. And so we have to replenish that because we're giving away $3,000 and $7,000. So that means that we want to continue with the inaugural staff senate, or we want to continue with that. We want to make sure that we're raising money and giving out. We're also thinking about doing a scholarship. We didn't get to that this year. That's another goal for next year. Thinking about our scholarship program and what that will look like. That would be also probably something that I would like to see happen over the next year, was to at least award our first scholarship. Any other concerns are good for the order? I just want to say thank y'all for letting me serve you for this far. And our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, June 13th, here in Close Hip. Don't skip out on it. Make sure you're here. Oh, yeah. One quick thing.
The provost a couple of weeks ago met with the informal LGBTQ caucus on campus. That group is trying to relaunch and formalize again. So if you know of any staff or you individually who are interested in being involved, let me know and I'll be happy to get that information to you. But this was part of the provost speaking to a number of constituency groups and just spoke to that group a couple weeks ago. So if you need additional intel, please let me know. I'll be happy to get it to you. Yes, yeah. Also, Bridget and I both serve on the President's Council on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Is also, he's not here.
Joe Fortune, yeah, Senator Fortune. So we met for the first time last month. It was an introductory meeting. There are a number of topics that were addressed, including some legislation that affects DEI and funding. It was actually the day after the House budget discussion about those things. So VP Williams addressed those, but it's a very open forum. So if you have issues, concerns, questions that you'd like for that committee to discuss to then relay to the president, please reach out to myself, Senator Leslie, Senator Fortune, and we'll be happy to get those on the agenda. So it was the very first meeting we had, so they're still kind of evolving and getting some infrastructure around it. But if you have any topics for consideration, please let us know and we'll get them on that committee as well.
Thank you. This just shows how plugged in we are. I remember when we wouldn't have reports and we didn't have anything. There's so much to do and so much to be done. So thank you all for volunteering to serve on university-wide committees as well as committees within Staff Senate. Any more comments, questions, concerns, announcements? Any more PowerPoint slides, Kelly? I did not know that was in there. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved. Can I get a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor? All right, we're going to adjourn at 3:57 p.m. Thank you.
Yeah.